Annyeonghaseyo, all my beautiful people. How are you doing today? Well, today I just first want to welcome everyone who has been watching this channel and welcome to anyone who is new to this channel. Welcome to the alternate point of view. Today I want to talk about Riley Strain. I know that a lot of YouTubers and people out there have been talking about Riley Strain ever since he went missing in Nashville. And I really just wanted to talk about him because I have a son who is 23 and he's also very tall. He's not as tall as Riley Strain, but I just got back from Nashville in December to see my son get married. And I know Nashville pretty well. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a pretty dangerous place because there is a lot of homeless people in Nashville. And if you're not familiar with the area, it can be pretty scary. But my reason for making this video is really because, well, I'm a mother, and I know that the Strain family has had a lot of help in looking for Riley. There was a lot of video footage of Riley out there, and I don't want to show any of the video footage because they did find Riley. Unfortunately, they found Riley in the river, and I don't want to remember Riley that way. I don't want to remember the video footage of Riley because he was a really good young man. He was a part of a fraternity. I'm pretty sure that everyone is aware of the story, but as the story goes, Riley was going to the University of Missouri, and he and his fraternity brothers went to Nashville to have fun for the weekend. And I'm sure there was some pre-drinking going on because Riley was kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar because they said he was too intoxicated. And apparently, according to the records, he was only served one drink and two waters. And you can tell by the video footage that he was stumbling down the street. He went in the wrong direction. He even ran into a pole and was seemed unconscious for a while. He seemed injured. He didn't seem in his right mind. He didn't seem like he had all his faculties about him. But what I find most disturbing about this case is that he was with his fraternity brothers, okay? They all went together to Broadway down in downtown Nashville, which is full of bars, full of live music. I live in Austin, and Austin is supposedly the music capital of the world, which I'm just going to tell you guys straight up, that's not true. I've been to Nashville, and Nashville is just music everywhere, and it's live music, and it's amazing, and it's a lot of fun. But again, it is also very dangerous, much like Austin. Austin is very dangerous. There's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of craziness going on. But unfortunately, for Riley, this wasn't a matter of, from what I can tell, this wasn't some nefarious thing that happened. He wasn't, there wasn't any foul play involved. This was just a matter of what I will say, and I'm going to say this as a mother because, and I'm going to say this because, you know, I was young once too. Like, we were all young once, right? We all partied with our friends when we were younger. We all went out. We all remember those nights when we were like so drunk. Like, as the saying back home in Alabama is, we were drunker than Cooter Brown. And, you know, we would be like, no, go, girl. I'm gonna keep hanging out. You never leave your friends. You never leave your friends. I don't care if you are in Nashville and you are at Luke Bryan's bar, because apparently they kicked Riley out because they said that he was too intoxicated, and they walked him out of the bar, and one of his friends walked with him and took him to the door, and they walked him to the door, and then his friend did not go with him and make sure he got to the hotel. His friend went back into the bar with his other fraternity brothers and let Riley go into a city he didn't know, that he was not familiar with. And he believed Riley when Riley said, "I'm going back to the hotel." But Riley walked in the wrong direction. He had no idea where he was. He didn't have all his faculties about him. Whether Riley drank prior to, we don't know. There's no answers. There is no full story. Whether Riley was roofied in the bar, we don't know. We don't have all of that information. What we do know is that Riley was kicked out of the bar, and his friends were allowed to stay, and his friends did not leave with him, and his friends allowed him to leave the bar alone. And then Riley was never seen again, other than what was on the video footage shown later that night. And even he passed a police officer, and it was seen on body cam footage where a police officer was investigating smash and grabs from cars in the Nashville area, because that is well known to happen in that area late at night, because it is not a good neighborhood, y'all. It is dangerous down there. So here Riley goes walking past a police officer, and not one police officer, but several police cars walk past Riley, and nobody thinks that this is abnormal because why? Because it is Nashville, y'all, and there are a lot of random kids, people walking down the streets of Nashville on the weekend, drunk, and nobody thinks anything of it. Now, why am I making this video? I am making this video because I hope that this teaches people a lesson. I hope that it teaches people you don't leave your friends. I don't care if you're having a good time. I don't care if you don't want to stop the night and you don't want to end your evening or whatever it is, because it was still early, y'all. It was actually pretty early. It was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. It wasn't like it was that late. His friend could have walked him to his hotel room. And I'm sorry if this sounds mean, but as a mother, I have to say that I would be so angry at that friend and his fraternity brothers for leaving him and letting him go in a strange city by himself, knowing he was that intoxicated, that if the bartender thought he was so intoxicated he needed to leave, that they should have left with him. And then my other thought process is if one person in the group should be kicked out, then the whole group should be kicked out, not just one. And then my other thought process is, okay, y'all, I used to bartend when I was younger. So I think that if you're going to kick someone out of a bar in this day and age, when we have Uber and Lyft, then you should be required. And I thought this was a thing, but apparently it is not. But you should be required to ensure that Uber or Lyft or someone picks the person up and takes them to their destination. I am not saying that, people are not responsible for themselves. But if you feel that someone is so intoxicated that they can't be in your establishment, then they are too intoxicated to get themselves to their rightful place. So I feel this could have been prevented in so many ways. And there are so many people that are responsible. Obviously, Riley is old enough to make his own decisions, but he had brothers, fraternity brothers. He had friends. He had people there was a group of people with him. And I, as a mother, would be unable, and I would be unhinged. And I am sorry, but I would probably not be a very good Christian dealing with my son's death. I would have to say, because I would not be able to make sense of how my child was allowed to leave without a friend. Never mind that the bar kicked him out. That's a step missed. But that his friends allowed him to leave. Never mind that the bar only kicked him out and not his entire party. But that his friends walked him to the door and then, bye-bye. I am shocked and awed at the entire situation. And I knew when it was a week gone by that Riley was not found. I knew it was not going to turn out to be a good situation. And I just feel such sorrow for this family, because I could not imagine in a million years losing my child in such a senseless, unnecessary way. And I know I'm probably not helping the situation at all by being like this, because obviously, you know, the first thing you would want to do is reconcile what happened, the situation. And there are all these stages of denial. And then obviously you look for someone to blame. And I honestly, as a mother, would definitely be blaming the person that walked him out the door and let him go. And I am sure that that poor child is dealing with his own survivor's guilt. And I pray for him. I do. I pray that he finds a way to do some good with his life. And I pray that all of Riley's friends find a way to do some good with their life, because it makes me sad that they left their friend. And Riley could still be here today had that entire situation not happened. Going to Nashville, totally fine. Having a guy's weekend in Nashville, totally fine. It was just a guy's weekend. There's nothing wrong with that. But there were so many mistakes made by Luke Bryan's bar. I feel if you're going to kick one member of the group out, you should kick all the members of the group out. I feel if you're going to kick someone out for being overly intoxicated, that you should get them an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi or something to get them to their destination safely. I feel that that honestly really would have saved the situation. The guys would have had no choice but to go with Riley. But also, I do believe there is responsibility that lies on the friends, because they should not have left him. So I want this to be a lesson to all of you youngsters out there, all of you college kids who go out and you don't think that anything will happen to you. You think that you're perfectly safe in your little college town or whatever. Trust me, I remember what those days were like. I walked home by myself plenty of times, and I'm lucky, and I thank Jesus every day that I'm alive, because I could be dead in a ditch somewhere, or in jail. I don't know, one of those things. But I'm just saying, don't leave your friends alone. Don't walk away. If your friend says, I'm going with this guy, I'll be fine. Don't do that. Do not do that. Please, please. And I may watch a lot of Dateline. I mean, my gosh, I do a crime channel, for goodness sake. But things happen when you least expect it. When you think they won't, that's when it happens. So I hope this will be a lesson to you all. Please, please don't leave your friends behind, because I hope that you will all remember that Riley Strain was someone's child. He was a college student. He was a good kid. He just went out one weekend out to hang out with his buddies, and now he's not here anymore in this world. And I hope that Jesus has him and is using him. And I believe that this happening, hopefully, will be a lesson to everyone, that this could be you. It could be any of us. So I appreciate everyone tuning in, listening, watching, and please teach your children to not wander off. Please teach your children to never leave their friends. And please teach your children to choose their friends wisely. Kamsahamnida.